Just when you thought you were safe, Don LaFontaine comes back to life to play Thanos. I was a huge fan of this show for so many years that I recall the blue meth showing up on the show. I don't know if you remember that. I believe it was season 2 or 3, and Walking Dead and Breaking Bad were actually contemporary of one another at that point in time, and this was something that was very interesting and absolutely fun. Memories of characters who will be gone forever escape Michonne's lips when she declares that they are the good guys. She's like, we're the good guys. She expresses the need for their choices to remain the difficult ones. And this is actually the strongest part of the episode, in my opinion. There are definitely some really strong parts of the episode, but they're supported by such weak alternatives that it just falls flat. I mean, they're not supported by the other parts of the story, which is hard to do. I don't know how they would fix this. It's really sad. She expresses the need for their choices to remain the difficult ones. And the minute that they start to question whether or not to make the better decision or the harder decision is the very minute that they will start to definitely effectively change. If or when this happens, that would be scarier than anything that would put them on high alert, like a skin mask. I realize that the importance and exceptional delivery that is presented here, but it is still kind of a shot in the dark. She isn't referring to anything specific. I guess you could go back and look at what decisions they made, but they hadn't just barely made a hard decision. So I think that would have had a lot more impact if they had made the hard decision, like killing Negan or something. But that's still silly. That's still being the villain. So I guess maybe keeping Negan alive, but her not making references to Negan specifically there is the problem. So maybe she's referring back to how she kind of changed her tune because she was so hell-bent on killing Negan before. So it's like, so I had to arrive at that with so many different steps, and they should have. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I think they should have at least, led with that. But it is still kind of a shot in the dark. She isn't referring to anything specific. They didn't just barely make a hard decision to back that up. Perhaps they will build on that. So hopefully they'll build on that, and hopefully they'll build on what she said, because that's, like I said, that's the strongest part of the entire episode. And probably the weakest is the satellite. The satellite is actually really a cool idea. It's a great idea to bring that in and trying to maybe bash on old world Russia after they had a Russian Marxist talk to someone in Fear the Walking Dead back in the season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. Judith tells the tale of her father's sacrifice, so continuously there is this reiteration of Rick and the importance of his impact on this generation of survivors. The next one is Bird Wisdom, and so this is a whole moment with Negan, alternate perspective showing same reactions of other people, and this was an attempt at showing some sort of levity within the story, trying to make Eugene more likable by turning caring for a baby into charts and graphs. I hated this scene. It was awful. It was kind of like it was like all of a sudden it was like this really bad rom-com. It was like a really bad rom-com. Perhaps this could have been delivered with better precision to make it cute. I mean, they were trying to make it cute. They were trying to make Eugene more cutesy, but it wasn't. It was delivered horribly. Seeing Negan working in the garden is okay. It just made him pretty destroyed as a villain. So I don't know. He bonds with Lydia, which is good. I could see that played by Cassidy McClincy. It's either McClincy. I'm going to say McClincy. Cassidy McClincy, who are both strong characters. So seeing the two of them together bond was another good moment. I wouldn't mind seeing both of them team up because they are deemed kind of outsiders. Okay, so one of the worst parts of this episode is seeing these two, Nadir and this other new guy. We are gods of the apocalypse. This was definitely cringe-worthy. It is as if they are just trying to make a hell of a lot of shallow people happy by writing this dialogue. It sucks. Horrible dialogue. What is this, an episode of Grey's Anatomy? we're like gods in the apocalypse. What is this? Grey's Anatomy? This exchange between the doctors was pretty horrible. And then he goes to kiss me already. There's a couple. There are two blatant references to men's pretty mouths. He's like you're looking at me with looking at my mouth, and it's making me feel all tingly inside. Kiss me already. That's what he says. Negan kind of hits on. Well, he doesn't hit on him. He just says. He says to Gabriel that he's got a pretty mouth. It's like, what? Okay, it's just everybody just totally like, what is this, Deliverance? What is this, Deliverance meets Grey's Anatomy? Here's why woke culture isn't good. There is a moment where they call being deaf as a superpower. As a musician, I can definitely tell you that anyone trying to perpetuate this propaganda is lying, cheating, and they are a trap. They're trapping you. Of course, they had to break up Ezekiel and Carol as well in this moment because she don't need no man. She goes right to Daryl because the crowd who wants the two of them together, and the crowd that wants these two together is kind of like a Raylo crowd. They want the Daryl and Carol, Caryl, Carol, like a Raylo type of thing. To no avail, they reestablished that Carol and Daryl are just friends. It's just, anyway, it's just funny. So it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Carol's a great independent character, but it was cool to see her like kind of be, shacked up with Ezekiel. But okay, it's like she kind of blows Ezekiel off in this episode, which was kind of silly, kind of stupid. I did love that you have Cooper Andrews who plays Jerry. His bond with Ezekiel was reestablished in this episode too. He's Cooper Andrews. He is Jerry. He's turning into one of my more favorite characters. I like him a lot. He's a cool character. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this episode? I'm gonna try to keep still giving it a few more episodes, and then at this point, it's becoming disposable. It's becoming a disposable show, which is really sad. I was a fan of this show from the get-go, from the beginning. First 5 or 6 seasons were great, and I actually loved it all the way up through season 7. And now it's just turning. It's just the writing isn't good anymore. They're catering to people who were kind of, forgive me if you liked it, but the writing it's not as thought out as well. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Thanks for joining me. This has been the Fanatics of Film. Please like, share, and subscribe as I work hard on these videos, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic day.